The Minecraft Chase the Skies game drop is here for Java Edition version 1.21.6, and I already have 5 seeds here for you to choose from. I tried to add in a little variety so you have a nice selection of options. So we'll see a seed with an easy way to get a happy ghast, a lake with 2 villages, an incredible island seed, and more. Let's see if one of these is the one you decide to use for your next adventure. Chase the Skies brings vibrant visuals to Bedrock Edition, but I play on Java Edition and they haven't been added there yet. That said, Java does have the environmental fog in the overworld, which creates that hazy effect, especially during rain. I think it's totally fine for normal survival gameplay, but when I'm recording cinematic overhead shots for videos, it can get a little annoying. For that reason, I'm using the Visual Vibrant Shader Pack, which sort of emulates what vibrant visuals look like. Now check out this seed. It's got a lake with 2 villages right near spawn. You start off in a plains biome by a river, and to the northeast there's a village. But I want to head south because that's where the lake is, and honestly, it just looks amazing. The view from this taiga hill overlooking the lake is just incredible. And actually, I think this little indent in the terrain provides an idea on where a waterfall could flow right down into the lake. Just imagine how a custom waterfall would look here from a distance. Of course, the villages just make this lake look really awesome. One is mostly built over the water, and I've always loved the look of floating villages, and the other is more so on the land with only this part going into the water. They're so close that they could easily be connected into one big village. I just want to give a quick reminder that on Java Edition and Bedrock Edition, terrain will be pretty much the same, but structures like villages generate in different locations. Just keep in mind that I play on Java Edition while watching this video. I show seeds like this pretty often, but I really do think they look great. And I think you can come up with some really creative build ideas in a place like this without needing to really terraform the land. The Happy Ghast is the biggest feature added into this new update. Now, one way to get a Happy Ghast is by finding it as a part of nether fossils and soul sand valleys. This seed has a spawn in a ruined portal village. We have a small cherry grove and a pretty big plains biome all around. The village comes with a blacksmith, which has some loot inside. There's also the library house for the librarian villager, a tannery for a bit more loot, and a mason's house with a stone cutter. Underneath the village, you'll be able to find a trial chamber. This is a great place to explore, and really, it's just one of many structures around the spawn of this seed. Now, I wanted to share this seed because if you fix the ruined portal and go through, you'll find a soul sand valley. And right nearby, there's a fossil where you can find a dried ghast. Go ahead and collect the dried ghast and then place it in water in the overworld and wait for it to hydrate into a ghastling. Now just wait for it to grow into a full-sized happy ghast. When it does, you can add a harness and float around in the sky wherever you'd like at a very slow pace. This seed has another village only about 200 blocks away from the first one, just another typical plains village, though this one does also have a blacksmith with the loot inside, and it also has this church with a brewing stand and this armorer's house with a blast furnace. And then there's a third village about 100 blocks to the west. A portion of this one generates on a beach. We get another blacksmith in this one for even more loot. It also has an armorer's house here. So this seed gives 3 blacksmith villages around spawn, but most importantly, it gives you a quick way to get a happy ghast. If you want a mountain valley seed, this is definitely a great option for you. All these different biomes are between some jagged peaks mountains. We start off with a forest biome, then we get to the meadow, then a birch forest, then a pale garden, and finally the dark forest. And they're all surrounded by the Jagged Peaks Mountains. In the meadow, I saw some pigs, and I bring that up because you can put a saddle on them and ride them easier now since saddles are now craftable. My only real disappointment for this area is that the mountains at the end aren't very tall. I wish they had some taller peaks. But I do think that these dark oak trees being this high up are pretty cool. And of course, having the mansion here is pretty cool too. The entrance is tucked away near the mountainside. On the first floor, I found some alleys, and this room here with some loot at the end. And on the top floor, I found 2 arena rooms, both with loot on the top loft. There's also a ruined portal right nearby too, a nice easy way to get into the nether here, where you can get a new music disc called Tears when you kill a ghast by deflecting a fireball at it. This is just such a really great place to spawn into a new world. So I'm just wondering, what would you build here? Did you know that I compile all of the coordinates to each seed I show in one handy place for your convenience? Well, I do. So if you're having trouble finding something I show in this video or want an easy look at a compilation of all the seeds with screenshots, go ahead and check out the link in the description or in the pinned comment to see my blog post with all of the seeds shown in this video. Well, this is just an incredible looking Minecraft seed. I spawned into this little plains valley and the first thing I saw was a ruined portal. Not only is that great for some quick loot, but you can eventually fix it up and head into the nether to find yourself a dried ghast. What I really like about this spawn is how close you are to both an elevated cherry grove and a raised meadow. I had an idea here where you could build a bridge between the two of them over the river, and then you could build something on the meadow hill like a little temple, tower, or statue. You could continue this by building a path along the cherry grove and then down to the village here. Then you could transform the village into the style you're building it and expand it around the lake, and continue even more throughout the plains area here. Where the cherry grove dips down here is perfect for a gate or entrance area into the city too. I can really envision a thriving village or city surrounded by the cherry grove here. The village here is already a pretty decent size for you to get started with, and it has some farms here which I mentioned because there are carrots. If you didn't know, now in 1.21.6, carrots can be used to tame, heal, and grow horses, donkeys, and mules. And I ain't saying anything, but to craft a harness, you need leather. And, well, there are cows in the plains that you could use. Did you think I was gonna mention killing horses? I'm not evil. Use some wool from the sheep around and some glass, and now you have yourself a harness. Overall, I think this seed has a ton of potential, and I'd love to hear what kind of ideas or plans you might have for it. A dried ghast has a 1/3 chance of spawning next to another fossil in a soul sand valley. But if you're struggling to find one, you can also craft one. To do this, you need 8 ghast tears and a block of soul sand. In this seed, we spawn on a village in ruined Portal Island. This one is a savanna village, of course. A lot of people don't know which buildings are which for a savanna village, and this one has quite a few different types, so let me just show you quickly. We get a cartographer, a tannery, a temple, a library, an armorer, and a blacksmith so you can get your loot here. The rest of the buildings are all just different sized houses. The ruined portal is right across from the blacksmith building. You can grab the loot in the chest, and with some breaking and placing of a couple blocks, you can easily use this portal too. You will find the basalt delta when you go through the portal, and while there's the easy way of finding the dried ghast in a soul sand valley close by, there's also a nether fortress here you can explore while you slowly collect ghast tears during your time in the nether. Or you can barter with the piglins for a really small, like 2% chance at getting one too. Once you get your dried ghast hydrated, you can accelerate the growth of the ghastling by feeding it snowballs. Off the northeast of the spawn island, you can see the mainland over there. The combination of the windswept terrain and the bamboo jungle looks really cool. Is there anything you think you could build here? I'm sure somebody could be pretty creative with terrain like this. A seed with a spawn island like this one could really give you a great start in a new world. Minecraft seeds from last update still work in this version, so check out one of the videos on screen to see some of my favorites. Thanks for watching, I'm out of here, see ya.